Good morning, everybody. MG here, MGCovers, bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video, Sports Betting Preview for March Madness for March the 17th, Friday, and also March the 18th on Saturday. Super excited to get into this preview, lot to cover. Before we do that, as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you regularly watch this channel, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Helps it grow, as you know. If you don't follow me on social media, MGCovers, cover spell with the Z. Give out a ton of information and content on Instagram, so you get a lot of value simply by following me there. Now, I want to dive into NCAA basketball, and if you follow me for any length of time, I've talked about how difficult it is to handicap March Madness, and I'm going to use a upset game from yesterday, Princeton, Arizona, to show you this. Now, let's go look at my line was even. Okay, we had over here on the left, these are my lines from Friday. We'll go through all these in a second. So we had it at even. However, technically on paper, right, Arizona should win. And what I want to show you is very fascinating. Princeton won this big upset. They were 14.5-point underdogs. So we look at the box score. Now, a lot of times when you see an upset, you'll see a team that just scores like a crazy amount of points. And this is what makes it difficult. Any of these teams you see in this tournament, majority, are capable in any one game of shooting, say, 50% from the field goal, and maybe 35% from the three-point line. If a team, any of these teams you see here, if they shoot 50% field goals, say 36% three-point, it doesn't matter who the team is. It doesn't matter if it's Furman, Howard, Illinois, Arkansas, whoever, they're going to win the game, because it's very difficult to beat a team that does that. But you look, Princeton only shot 41% from the three-point line. I mean, from field goals, 16% from the three-point line. Look what Arizona did. Terrible. 42% from the field, 19% from three-point line. They were throwing up bricks. Now, the reason that is important, and the reason why you see a lot of upsets, it's only one game. It's much easier to handicap, say, NBA series, because there's a lot of situational angles you can play. For example, a team goes up 2-0. The team that's down 0-2, usually, majority of the time, will win the third game, because obviously they don't want to lose the third game and go down 3-0. So what I want to do is show you the stats. Look at what's crazy about this. Let's look at, okay, you saw Arizona score, 55 points yesterday? Oops, it looks like I skipped it again. All right, here we go. All right, let's scroll down here to teams. Look at what they averaged on a year. Y'all, they averaged 83 points a game. And look what they averaged field goal-wise, 39%. Look at 3-point. Now, that's average. They averaged 37% from 3 points range and 49% field goals, scored 83 points, and they ended up scoring 55. And that's and it's difficult to, yeah, there you go, 42% from the field, 19%. So they were way down. And so when you do that, and it wasn't like Princeton did anything spectacular, it was just Arizona played extremely poorly, 4 for 7 from free throw line, didn't go to the free throw line that much, and made themselves vulnerable to the upset. And again, how do you predict that? Well, you don't. And that's what makes it difficult. And then you'll also have games in NCAA tournament like this. So you say, well, what about, an upset? It's just hard to predict those. You'll still have games like this where UNC Asheville, they were 17.5-point dogs and got, obliterated by UCLA. You'll still have those. And that's what makes this difficult. So what I came up with, I'll show you this, is these are my lines. So what I did was I created sort of a plug and play model. I had a client that went back and back tested this for the year. And this was really, let me see if I can pull it up this way. There you go. You can see it a lot better now. And what he did was he saw that when my line was -5 or greater and that team was at home, they won at a very high percentage. So applying some of that to the NCAA tournament, and I've tracked it. So what I did was, and some of these are NIT games as well. So when my line is -5 or greater, that would be, quote, a play. And it actually it's done really well. It hit this dog here, Hofstra 205, Michigan, and then it hit two other big dogs, Sam Houston State +170, Utah Valley State +195. Did have 5 losses, so it's 4-5 and netting out 1.3 units. But for basically 2 days, well, 3 days, that's really good. Really solid return there. So we're going to continue to track this, and we'll use that as we look at these games for today. So let's dive into, and that's the same. Go back up to this. What was the other big upset? Furman. Yeah, same. Basically the same concept. And Furman, Virginia plays great defense. So it's already going to be a low-scoring game, so that helps their opponent out. And look what Furman shot: 39% from the field, 36% from the three. They were bombing those threes. And look at Virginia, 17%. So they were they threw up 10 bricks from the three-point range, and so make yourself vulnerable. Furman with the win. And that can happen any game, and that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so difficult. That being said, let's dive in here to today's games, and we'll look at. So you got my lines here on the left, books line here. Let's pull this. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's do it here. So right out the gate, we have USC minus 11. Books have them at plus 1.5. So definitely like a lean in the direction of USC here. Let's see what we can get as far as the line. I don't know if I can spread this out anymore. No. I was trying to do it where we could see the line move a little bit. Let's go back up to the top here. I was trying to look at line movement. We might come back and look at that. But anyway, so we have a lean towards a USC because we have them at minus 11. Kennesaw State, very difficult game to handicap, right? And so you say, wow, your model has Kennesaw State minus 7. And you have to understand when you're doing modeling, Kennesaw State has not played the same opponents that Xavier has played. So those stats are based on the opponents that Kennesaw State has played. However, consider we are getting that margin there where it fits our model for handicapping. They're minus 7, so we do have a lean towards Kennesaw State in that one. Let's scroll down till we see VCU. Nice upset. Now, when you see it like this, we have our line VCU minus 6, and they're plus 4.5. That's definitely in the range to where you would want to play the money line. The average, and here's why, the average margin of victory in NBA as well as college basketball is 11 points. So when it's less than half of that, meaning if it's around 5, say 5.5 or less, you want to play it on the money line. If it's greater than that, say it's 6 or 7, you would want to take the points in that scenario. So in this case, this will be a good money line play here. VCU to win outright, plus 160, plus 154, depending on what book you're looking at. Okay, let's go back to the games here. Our next one that comes up is going to be Iowa State with Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh coming off a big win there. And that's another thing. You do a slight advantage here as far as rest. Iowa State definitely well rested here. They're minus 4.5. Our line is minus 5. So based on that criteria, that would definitely favor them to win that one. Moving along, NC State and Creighton. We have Creighton minus 5. Line is minus 5.5. So a lean towards Creighton here. And take a look at this Iona game. Iona's coached by Rick Pitino here. Very good coach. We'll have this team ready to play. So that's definitely one, even though it doesn't fit the model of minus 5, still definitely one that you might want to lean on. Get 9.5 points there. All right, moving along, Providence and Kentucky. Definitely like Kentucky in this spot here, minus 4. You actually have value via my line. My line has minus 10. And this game, a lot of people on Drake already at plus 1.5. We have Drake at minus 12. And I believe that's going to be it for, and that's it for Friday. So just sort of review. We like Drake, Kentucky, Creighton, Iowa State, VCU, Kennesaw State, and USC. Now let's go back over to the line. And here's what I would definitely do. And again, I wouldn't blindly play these games. I would also look at line movement. If you're new, I'll explain that to you. Right now, you can see here opening line for USC was +1.5, and it's at +1.5. So there's no movement at all. More times than not, if the line doesn't move at all, that would favor the favorite. You can see here this line's moved against Kennesaw State from opened at 11. Now it's up to 12.5. VCU, St. Mary's, it's pretty much stayed at the 4. That would favor St. Mary's there. Iowa State, small bump in favor of Iowa State there. So you got from 4 up to 4.5. And again, these lines could change, right? Because a lot of these games are this afternoon. I'm recording this video at 9:20 a.m. on March the 17th. So you could still see a lot of movement. And Providence in Kentucky, definitely a strong move in favor of Kentucky there. Opened at 3.5. It's at 4 to 4.5, depending on the book. And then looks like everybody, well, not everybody, looks like the tickets are split pretty much 50-50. So strong play there in favor of Drake. Opened at +3. Now it's down to +2, +1.5, depending on the book. Okay, so let's dive into Saturday's games here. And these are some really, really solid matchups here. Okay, right out the gate, Furman, San Diego State. We have San Diego State -8.5, so that fits the criteria for the model. So definitely a strong lean in favor of San Diego State. Duke, Tennessee. How about Duke is just playing unbelievable basketball right now? So this would definitely favor Duke. Duke's going to be -3 in this game. Moving along, Princeton coming off that big win. We have them at -6. Lined open at 6.5, favor of Missouri. Has not moved. So definitely a lean on Princeton. Houston and Auburn. I will tell you this. Houston -5.5. Very good defensive team. And that's actually part of their problem is generally these good defensive teams like Houston, Virginia, the problem is they don't score a lot of points. And look at this. Look at their ATS. This is Houston's ATS. This is their tournament. And then, of course, that win over Northern Kentucky. 1-4, and in their last 6 games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've only covered 2 out of the last 10 times. So, again, that's the problem with a lot of these low-scoring teams. Okay, moving along. What do we have? Alabama. Alabama, very impressive. We have that -9, so they're 7.5 at the book. So definitely a lean in favor of Alabama. And yep, that's it. So hope this preview helps. Good luck. I'd be very cautious. I think low volume would be the way to go, regardless of how you handicap or interpret the lines. If you want access to all these models, we have them right now for NBA, soccer, having a ton of success with soccer totals. We have Major League Baseball. The Major League Baseball Power Rankings will premiere for me April the 10th, I believe. You can get access to that for $50 a month. Very inexpensive to get access to these models and see my lines for all sports. You also get access to all of the coaching videos. So if you want to learn the art and science of sports handicapping, you'll have plenty of information to learn that. If you want access to all my plays, you get everything I just mentioned. And then, of course, all my plays, that's $100 a month. And if you join for an entire year, it's absolutely incredible value. You save about $600. It's $4.99. That gives you access to everything on the site. There's a link to join in the description box. Good luck wagering on March Madness, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.